So I was just listening to a small clip from the Lex Friedman podcast where Grimes was talking about Homo sapiens and Homo Technos, and she was saying that, I believe that society, or kind of modern civilization now today, or the people that are growing up today, are Homo Technos and they're not Homo sapiens because of the technological influence that it's had on our brains and our nervous system and the way in which things function within us when it comes to neurochemistry and all of this. And I was like, yeah, there's a truth to that. We are becoming more like cyborgs than we are becoming what was human before the internet, or before technology, or before any of these things. But at the same time, it kind of concludes to me in my mind that the only end point to something where we're Homo Technos is just slavery, complete slavery, because the word Homo sapiens, if you break it down, sapien means wise, and Homo sapiens means the wise man, because Homo sapiens are different from Neanderthals because of evolution, supposedly, and evolution made man more intelligent and made him more wise because of his experience with the real world. And this becomes very essential to the understanding of to the end point, or to the new beginning of what will become of humanity, is because the fundamental necessity of man's experience with the real world, the only reason he became or evolved into a Homo sapien was because of his experience with his reality, with his physical reality, and being embodied in the physical world. Now, the Metaverse, or anything in that kind of realm, is detached from the physical body. It's detached from the real world in which we live in today, which is our foundation for the reason why we are wise to begin with, why we have developed wisdom, why we have become intelligent. So let's say, okay, Homo Techno, let's buy into the Homo Techno idea. So we get rid of the term wisdom or the wise man, and it's just the what? The technological slave, the Techno-enslavement, because once we are hooked into this Metaverse, which is detached from the physical body, in which we must be in connection to evolve in the way we have, where are we receiving our information from? It becomes a state of mind, and only a state of mind, where we receive the information, or at least second-hand knowledge, which will become the primary source of knowledge, from the internet, from the ether, and not from physical experience with the real world. And of course, things like proverbs, or things like truly wise sayings, are only wise because they are based and founded within the physical experience of the world. And an objectivity can be found through that because of that experience of the real world. So where we get to, strangely, is this kind of situation where information from a secondary source, in which is not received from us through our physical experience of the world, but instead from something else in which controls the information in which we receive, becomes our main source of stimuli or stimulus. And therefore, this stimulus is in the power of other people, or maybe you could say the technocracy, or what is given to you, or what is allowed to be given to you. And this is a kind of mental imprisonment. Because if we do, obviously I don't know, because I don't know the complete succession and evolution of what the Metaverse would be, but there is this foreboding truth that people would become entrapped into a mental prison, or a mental prison, because they've given themselves up to it in a way. But ultimately you get to this situation where obviously you don't become a Homo sapien, and the fundamental thing in which, and this is the thing, right? Why are we willing to give up the world, the physical world in which we exist in today, when we have not mastered our own experience with the physical world in which we live in today? We haven't mastered it. There's so many people and so many issues that us people have today that have specifically got to do with our relation to our body and our physical body. For example, why do you have anxiety? Why do you have social anxiety? Why do you have stress? Why do you have fear of certain things? Why do these things culminate and lead to forms of depression for people? These things are all within the mind. These are all mental. But it's our rejection of the physical world in which this technological movement has caused us to kind of reject the physical reality of our world in which we live in. And because of this, why would it be ever a good idea to then lead into and reject the physical world because we don't want to deal with it anymore, to then go into something like the Metaverse, where we put ourselves completely into it, into this mental gymnasium and this gymnastics in which rejects the physical world in which we were in before? Why would that be any good? It's like saying, well, loads of people are growing up and having these issues because technology is keeping them away from the physical experience of the world, therefore and they're not having a balance of the mind and the body, which is so essential to a healthy mind and a healthy existence. More so, to live a healthy life, you need a very good balance and equilibrium between the mind and body. It needs to be synthesized so that your thoughts become actions, and your actions lead to the things in which you want to see and desire in the world. And that is the whole process of courage, overcoming fears, overcoming these issues in which people are now motivated to not actually try and conquer or overcome, because the mental game of technology is so profound. So why would that ever be a good idea, to then just adopt yourself into something which completely rejects the thing in which people are struggling with the most, especially younger people? So you get to this point where it's like, okay, the wisdom in which we have become to know and understand on an empirical level is understood through our own personal experience with reality. Empiricism, experience. That's where we get our wisdom, that's where we get life experience from, right? So the adoption of the Metaverse would then take away our wisdom, take away our ability to learn what it means to be, or to become wise, to be the fool, and then to go on the journey, or the hero's journey, to then become the wise man. That would be completely cut off and separated from the reality of so many people. From my perspective, that's how I see it. So, and this is the thing, even my own society is fundamentally predicated on the synthesis of the mind and body. You know, people who are dealing with certain anxieties, certain situations, living up to a persona without really showing their true self or their authentic self to other people around them. All these types of things. And it's like, yeah, let's be a Homo Techno. It literally leads, in my perspective, to an information-based enslavement reality. Because of, what I just said there. And it's just, and you'd think, well, what would Carl Jung, kind of say about this? Or let's say, man's biggest enemy is man. The biggest enemy to man is himself, his psyche, his actions, his repressions, the repressions which lead to his actions, which he doesn't see for himself, the things in which he makes unconscious, the things which he doesn't confront, that are repressed. These are the biggest things which make man his own biggest enemy. And it's like, oh yeah, let's repress the body. Let's repress the physical body and go into the Metaverse, because that's a good decision to make. That's really going to sort a lot of people out. So, that's my thoughts on the Metaverse. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you enjoyed this kind of content and you want to see more content similar to this. And if you're interested in a applying to my own society, which is all about developing masculine virtues and values for people who want to go on a transformation path, then go in the link in the description and you can apply for a free consultation call with me and my other colleagues down below. So I'll see you inside, and I hope you enjoyed this video.